And we are live. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, rather, and welcome to Forever Sports. One South African team into the semi-finals. Can we make it two? With the Stormers taking on Cardiff very, very shortly, and it's a very, very strong Stormers side. And I think that they should be all right. I'd be very surprised if we see an upset today. Cardiff are a good side. Deceptively good, to be honest, but the only positive thing in Welsh rugby at the moment, to be brutally honest. But it is going to be a case of them up against it, to be honest. And I think that if the Stormers can, much like the Bulls, get up to a quick start and to really, put the pressure on early, I think that they could find it quite straightforward. And we'll go through the teams in a little bit. I just think that the Stormers have got so much firepower in them to I just don't really see how Cardiff can kind of cope. But let's look at the Stormers side, shall we? Before we do it, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Get your score predictions in the comments. And I'm going to ask you on the poll, who do you think is going to win? Who will win this quarter final? The big question of Stormers or Cardiff. So go and answer that in the poll and let me know what you think is going to happen. But let's go to the team, shall we? So if the Stormers at the front row, he's been in phenomenal form lately, and I think a lot of people are backing him to have a bit of a breakthrough season with the box. Intuka Kunu packs down the number 1 jersey. You'll have Andre Hugo Fenter and Nettling for Sheer for company in that front row. Some big men behind them in RJ Smith and Ruben van Heerden. You then got Paul de Villiers, Ben Jason Dixon, Evan Ruiz in a very mobile, very hard-working back row and very quick as well across the park. Imad Khan been phenomenal form since the injury to Kobus Reinach. Next to Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu. These are the type of games where we need to see Sacha really bring it to the party, and he's got lots of talent to work with. If we look at the centres, Daniel du Plessis and Ruan Nel, and then a back three of Leon Zas, Sebastian Natle, and Willemse. We're talking pace on pace. And then Willemse, who's absolutely world class. Good players off the bench as well for John Dawson to be able to call upon in the likes of JJ Kotze, Vernon Matongo, and Zachary Porthen in the front row. Salman Murat is back from injury, and he needs to start impressing if he wants to get into a decent feature for the box. Given the injury, it's an opportunity for Salman Murat to take that opportunity. Of the games he might have coming up for him. You then got Ruan Ackerman, Marcel Tennyson in the 6-2 split that features Stefan Angera and Yuri Mattia as the only backline players. Obviously, Yuri Mattia can play at 15. You've got the likes of Willemse who can play at 12 and 10. Sacha, much the same. So plenty of versatility in that Stormers side as well. If we then look at the Cardiff side in the front row, it is Reece Barrett, Liam Belcher, and Kieran Azarati packing down. Azarati will need to do a good job on to try and find a bit of parity in the scrum. You then got Josh McInally, Rory Thornton in the second row, James Botham, Dan Thomas, and Tane Basham in that back row. Tane Basham will be one of the big players for Cardiff. A half-back pairing of former Greek was scrum half, actually. You had and Iron Lloyd. You then got Josh Adams, the British and Irish Lions capped wing, Jacob Beetham, and Cameron Winnett as a back three. A centre pairing that features Rory Jennings and Ben Thomas. Off the bench, and this is where I think the Stormers have got the edge, but for Cardiff, it is Daft Hughes, Danny Southworth, Yavin Sebastian. You then got George Nott, Alan Lawrence, Evan Lloyd, Ellis Bevan, and Tom Bowen for the men from Wales. Your man in the middle is Ewan Cross. He'll be assisted by Andrew Brace and Andrew Cole. The man in the TMO is Leo Colgan for the game down in Cape Town. And it is a pretty full DHL Stadium, and I think it'll only get a bit fuller, and hopefully we'll have a really good atmosphere for what should be a really, really good game to come. Give me your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Go get that vote in the poll. Consider becoming a member if you'd like to. We've got a very exciting announcement for our members on Monday, and lots of cool things to come within the channel as a whole, which will be available first exclusively to our members. So go and join that members club. Go and get your super chat into the mix, and if we actually get 10 or more super chats during the stream, we'll actually tell you one of the what the big new project that we are working on is, if we can get those 10 super chats. Otherwise, that was not supposed to be for half an hour. Well, let's see where we are at that, and we'll basically renew it. But big opportunity today for Ruan Nel, captaining the Stormers, and I like the fact that we're not going to put that kind of burden onto an Evan Ruiz or Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu, for example. Put on Ruan Nel. He's an experienced campaigner. He's not necessarily the big star in this team, and let the likes of de Villiers, Ruiz, Willemse, Sacha go out and play the best rugby they can. Go out and make a big difference. because that's what they do best, to be brutally honest. And you don't want to ever sort of tie it down or put a ball and chain on any player. Some players thrive with the captaincy. Sometimes some players get too caught up in the captaincy, and that becomes a really big part of them to try and balance. So I quite like the fact that they're going with Ruanel of late. But yeah, I think it's going to be a game where Cardiff will need to score early, and Cardiff will need to arrive. I mean, I think they've got good players. I think the back three is a solid back three. Josh Adams, I think Cam Winnett's a really good player. Cornel Finzale as well, head coach of Cardiff, will know a lot about the Stormers. He will know a lot about what to expect. You've got Johan Mulder at 9, the key position. They'll know these conditions. They'll understand the South African conditions and kind of the South African crowds and how to get sort of through that. So that, I think, will be a key part of it. Cardiff playing in pink today. It's quite a cool kit, actually. And obviously can't be in their usual blue. They used to be called the Cardiff Blues, but they're now just Cardiff Rugby. As they come out to the DHL Stadium, we'll kick off in about 2 minutes' time. Still got opportunity to get your score predictions in, and I think we're in for a good game. And I personally think that if the Stormers get going early, it could be a big one. We've just seen the Bulls absolutely blow away the Munster pack and team as a whole. The question is, can the Stormers replicate that? Can we get two teams into the semi-finals next weekend? They will be in different semi-finals, and the Stormers playing to see who will play the winner of either the Lions or Leinster. Everybody's just writing off the Lions. I think it's bold. To be honest, it's bold to be writing off the Lions, but it's going to be a big. Yeah, it'll be a big call if they were to go all the way at this stage. But the Stormers finishing third and therefore getting their home ground advantage. The Lions will not have any home ground advantage for the rest of the competition, to be honest, because Connacht is out and they were the only ones if they happen to find their way against each other. The Lions would have had home ground advantage. The Lions, however, though, if they were to win and beat Leinster and then go down to the DHL Stadium, I almost fancy them to have a go at the Stormers side. The Bulls will travel to play on Glasgow, and if Glasgow were to win the game, they'll have a home final. So yeah, you ideally need a Leinster loss and a Glasgow loss, and then we can potentially have a final in South Africa. Although I think that is getting quite a bit of wishful thinking, to be perfectly honest. So, hello, rugby team. Hope you're well. Get your score predictions in. Let's get going here. We're about to have kickoff. Back-to-back games, a bit of a break. There's a bit of Champions League thrown in there if you're a football fan, and then the Lions game at 9 o'clock to hopefully finish my Saturday evening on a bit of a high. Let's go see a bit of history with the Lions, and I don't really back it, but you never know. You never know. Stranger things have happened. Can't really name anything, what they are exactly, but I'm going to go with that and say that stranger things have happened. And the Lions beating Leinster late. Look, the Lions have played well. I just think that if we were at full strength and we had some of our key players. But anyway, down in Cape Town, we have got kickoff. And down to the left-hand side, there they go. And it's an early touch for Damian Willemse, who's up to the task, takes it well, takes it into contact, and Imran Khan has a decent platform to find a bit of clearance. And it's a big kick ahead. Very good chase there coming from Leon Zas. That's actually Sanatla actually got there first. And the kick coming across from Cardiff. Well fielded by Damian Willemse. Stepping away from one, stepping away from another. Damian Willemse caught on the ball. A couple of players around to secure it though. Now a bit of space. Dan du Plessis takes it into contact. Dan du Plessis, I mean, I checked today, 31 years old. I think a bit of a career that never quite kicked on like it should have, to be perfectly honest. I would have liked to have seen what would have happened if he had made a move a bit earlier when things weren't quite progressing the way that he probably wanted them to. But a solid player on his day. Imran Khan goes over the top. Leon Zas is floating around giving chase, but not too many players to put pressure on Cardiff. Bit of space. Cameron to go to the left-hand side. Comes back inside, but caught on the ball there is Josh Adams. Paul de Villiers making the tackle there, right back towards the 22. Jan Mulder weighing up his options, goes to the left-hand side, and a complete melee of players there coming from the Stormers. That's a good take there from Sanatli. Ball's gone backwards, says the referee. Pop it up towards Imran Khan. And a bit of pressure as Imran Khan holds on to it. A very good chase and a good tackle there coming from Dan Thomas. Now Hugo Fent takes it into contact on the team meter line here, the Stormers. Now Khan goes to the boot. Sanatla is around and waiting underneath it. Such a good story, but can't quite gather, can Sanatla? Yes, the referee. Mulder goes to the boot. I'm going to see a lot of this as we kind of settle in here. Tester in the bit of the sun and knocked backwards. Taken really well from Ruan now. It was good work from Sanatla to just knock it backwards, and Ruan now was away for that. Now near to Bashir. Oh, jeepers, he's hammered in the tackle there coming from Liam Belcher and Roy Thornton. Some big hits already so far. Now Khan goes to the boot, and Sanatla will give chase. On Josh Adams makes a good tackle. Not the best pass to win it, but he does well to gather. Paul de Villiers all over him. Makes the tackle immediately up to his feet to try and get his hands on the ball. A genuine jackler is Paul de Villiers. Now RJ Smith and Sanatla making the tackle. Pretty stagnant at the moment. Eventually the referee calls to release. Ball available for Johan Mulder. I don't think much on, so I think he'll go back to the boot. Tactical arm wrestle is the nice way of saying it. At the moment, it's just ping pong tennis, but Willemse takes it very well out the air. So Stormers have a bit of front foot ball and a penalty for holding the man back, and that's against Ruben van Heerden. That's a bit silly. So it's a penalty for Cardiff. So Damian Willemse does very well, goes up, takes it. And it was just so silly from Ruben van. I mean, it's actually Ben Jason Dixon. I apologize for him. Ben Jason Dixon just grabs the player and pulls him back. Absolutely no need to do that. Referee aware to it as well. And they've gifted an opportunity for Cardiff to get some go forward ball. They're on the 22. They go to the front of the line. Good line, uncontested. Mulder flat on the turn goes Ben Thomas, and now with a quick ball, finding his way through his own traffic. There was Tane Basham, but does Farcotty Mulder inside switch. Good work there, and almost makes it 38 through. A chicken wing pass there and brought down just short is Josh McNally. Mulder, quick ball back on the angle, gets away from one. Stepping around here is Ion Lloyd. Opportunity for Cardiff. Can they make it count? Reece Barrett takes the direct route, as lots of loose heads do. A meter or two penalty advantage, is that? Or just an offside line? They're coming from the referee. But good pressure from Cardiff. Tane Basham digging for the ball. And there's the penalty advantage. They go back for the penalty on the 5 meter line here. So Stormers under early pressure. I mentioned that it'll be a big focus for Cardiff to try and score early. And they're so far looking pretty good. The call comes just to kick to the corner. It'll be a 5 meter line out. Two penalties conceded already from the Stormers. And in the 6th minute, Cardiff. It's a good line. Mulder goes flat. Maybe a bit too flat, really, for Ben Thomas to get front foot ball. And they do lose it forward. In fact, I think forward passes the call. I said it looked very flat. So scrum here. And now they can start throwing down, and this is where the balls do. They threw down the gauntlet, and they've got 8 kgs on Cardiff, do Stormers, over 900 kgs. Packs are getting so big these days, even at club level. And yeah, the Bulls had a phenomenal first scrum, and that kind of set the tone for the rest of the game. The question is, can the Stormers do something similar? And we're going to standing up here. Reece Barrett not happy with what he's seeing from Netley Bashir, so he's going to have a conversation as the referee. He's not particularly impressed with what he's seeing, and fair enough. We need to get going with these scrums. There, we can't just stand up in the likes of that early on. We need to get going. We need to have a solid platform. We need to see the scrums throughout the rest of the match. Let's see if we can finally, hopefully, get a bit of a scrum going. And Tony reckons Cardiff doesn't have a chance. I wouldn't say I'm not sure I'd go that far. I think they've always got, you're always in with a chance, but need to start off well, which they all looked like they were doing until a silly mistake. You're in cross now. Nice, he stood up again, and a free kick coming for the Stormers. And Reece Barrett's not happy with Netley Bashir at all. He'll need to fix that because the next one will be a penalty, to be honest. Yeah, Reece Barrett is not happy there, and he pulled out immediately, and the referee awarded the free kick. Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu will just kick to touch. It will be a Cardiff line out. But interesting to see if we can see a bit of a replay there and see exactly what Reece Barrett is talking about. Ball to the top. Bit of a messy one, but it comes down to Jan Mulder. Stormers up very, very quickly here. And Ronald, well, it doesn't quite make the tackle, but I was up quickly. So shooting up quickly, the Stormers. I might see chips over the top later coming from Cardiff. That'll be the first thing I'll be saying is a little chipping behind. And Netley Bashir, of all people, gets back and dives on the ball. Good work there from the tight head. Pick up and go from Andre Hugo Fenter. Slightly isolated. Tane Basham's trying to rip the ball. Has ripped the ball from contact. Oh, I tell you what, that's when Jan Mulder's hands could have been interesting. Cardiff won the ball back, though. And there was a knock-on in the forward, says Ewan Cross. But up around the tackle, I think, was under Hugo Fenter and isolated. So it was a bit easy in the end to rip that ball. Big scrum there coming from the Stormers. And they got a penalty advantage. Caught on the ball. Evan Rose gets away from Sinatla. They'll play with the advantage. There comes the whistle from the referee. Oh, I tell you what, it's been a bit greedy there, I think, as Sash. No, in fact, he's been phenomenal there. He's put the Stormers on the 5-meter line. That is a sensational kick. Good ball. They good line out there, and they broke to the right-hand side. I don't know who's got the ball here. They're almost going to be over. They're front, and the ball's coming loose and forward, I think, is the call. Knock on advantage there for Cardiff. It never really looked pretty settled, to be honest, before they got them all going. Use it as the call, yeah. It's eventually available, but And you're going to go just to the original knockoff a scrum for Cardiff. So both teams not being clinical enough. Ben Jason Dixon, after all that controversy, still playing for the Stormers. But yeah, I mean, he looked on the way out. There was a whole issue. They had to sit down at contract negotiations. Eventually, he did renew. He's been a great player for the Stormers, has been Jason Dixon. Straight down. Penalty for the Stormers. That's on Kieran Azarati's side. So Ntuku gets 1-0 up there with the penalties. Stormers will be able to have another go. I reckon the Rolling Moore was looking positive. They just didn't really have it well set before they move forward. So they just need to make sure they can get the ball into the hands of Andre Hugo Fenton. Do they not have a scrum there? Nearly Bashir saying, give us a scrum. Yeah, they are going to have a scrum. I love that. It'll be the worst thing that Kieran Azarati will want to see there, and he'll be sitting there saying, all right, cool, let's have it on. But it's a good call there from the Stormers. Bit of a brave call, but I think it's a good call. Positive call. Cost says, do you think Sacha will score a touchdown? Definitely grab a try there. I mean, is the stadium full? And no, not full. Decent crowd, though. Decent crowd. It'll more full than Loftus, which I think is about right with the time. Loftus was too early to be full. You've got too much school rugby happening, which means you've got like literally half the fans would be playing rugby, parents would be watching. It's difficult to get across to Loftus at 1 o'clock. If Loftus was a 5 o'clock game, I think it would have been very full for a Munster Loftus game like that. But yeah, not a bad crowd over here. Hopefully, and yeah, I mean, if Leinster would lose later, the Stormers would have a home semi-final. Otherwise, Stormers are going to have to travel over to play in Dublin. Ball's available there for Khan. No penalty advantage or anything like that. And there we go. We'll chip over the top for Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu onto a curb. It just doesn't quite bounce up for Leland Zas. Not the worst option. Just wasn't quite weighted well enough from Sacha. Just trying to grab it on the bounce, and it kept low. Bolcher goes over the top there. It's an interesting line, I think, in Cardiff. They've been picked up, but the ball is going to be available from the looks of it. Big counter coming across. And yeah, that's the problem, because Evan Lewis is lying at the bottom, so he'll be pinged for not rolling away. Silly from Netley Bashir. It's a bit of awareness, really. I mean, the counter ruck was good, but because Evan Lewis is lying at the bottom, he's going to be penalised for not rolling in. In fact, it's actually in at the side. Take it all back. And the inside, oh, what a run that is from Lloyd. Looking for options. I mean, jeepers, nobody's even touched in there, Zion Lloyd. He's gone bursting through Jan Muller to the left-hand side, back inside. Cardiff have definitely looked the better of the team when they've had a bit of space to work with, but that is Paul de Villiers all over that ball winning the breakdown. He's just such a low center of gravity is Paul de Villiers. So strong over the ball. And he looks like, he's going to try and impress Rasmus here. And that kind of turnover goes a long way. That when they're under that kind of pressure to go and create a turnover of that magnitude is important. Big game play. Big game play that from Paul de Villiers. Ruben van Heerden calling the line-out here. 5 line-outs, 1 from Cardiff, 1 from Stormers. Stormers up towards the halfway line now. They go to the front. Good line-out. Khan. Sacha goes to run down the midfield. And Paul de Villiers into the action again. Quick now from Khan. Sacha goes himself, finding a couple of yards. Now to the right-hand side. First receiver is Paul de Villiers. Hit hard in the tackle. Now Willemse, not too much on. Just goes to the boot. Sinatli will give chase. Josh Adams loses it forward and picked up by... That's a brilliant pickup there. I think that's Andre Hugo Venter. It is indeed. Hands now. Ben Jason Dixon goes into contact. Stormers into the 22. Looking positive here for the Hoops. Back on the angle goes Andre Hugo Venter. Not the best pass there from RJ Smith to Damian Willemse, who's going to clean up. Damian Willemse steps back on the inside. Ball available. 7 offside is the call, so there's a penalty advantage, and they do get the penalty. Take the points. No, we're going to take it quickly as Sacha. Jan Mulder makes the tackle. Khan. Smith now. 5 meters out. I still think take the points. You're playing player of rugby here. Sinatli to the left-hand side. Let's see if they can make this count. Evan Ruiz now on the ball. We haven't seen much of him so far in the first 17 minutes. And Tukan Basham doing well. Told to leave it now to the left-hand side. Ben Jason Dixon shows and goes. Neatlin Bashir, solid defense so far from Cardiff, but they need to roll there. They do well. Imad Khan on the ball. Goes short to Ruben van Heerden, but once again, the Cardiff defense has been good. Ball bobbles, and Khan now it's a bit of a... Oh no, it could be a breakaway try here. 2 Cardiff players are going. It is going to be... Oh, is he going to be able to get across? Surely he's got the pace. Surely he's got the pace. He is going to have the pace. Camwin's going to go into the corner. What did I say? What did I say? Take the points. Instead, they're now 5 points down. I said, take the points. You got the penalty at 17 minutes. You haven't gotten any points. Get yourself on the scoreboard. This is a quarterfinal. You take the points when they're on offer. But they got greedy. And they're now down. Oh, the Stormers. It wasn't on from Imad Khan. He basically just tapped it on from the base of the rack. Now there's the interception, and now they're 5 points down. And the kick is going to be good as well. So that's 7-0 down, actually. So all those tackles, all that pressure soaked up really well by Cardiff. And then the breakaway. Deep restart. A bit of space, actually. Right, Cardiff 7-0. Not the start the Stormers would have wanted. The dream start for Cardiff to have weathered the storm. 20 minutes gone already. Quarter of the way through. Tester for Damian Willemse. He's been good so far under the high ball. Is good once again. Need to get him into the game more on the front foot here. Imran Khan goes to Netling for Shear. Imran Khan now waits for the options. Goes to Sacha. Sacha will go to the boot. Sanatla is hovering. Just can't quite get a hand to it. And it's back onto Ione Lloyd. Completes the tackle, does Dan du Plessis. Ben Jason Dixon thought the ball might have been out. Asked the question. The referee said no, quite firmly. Short to Kieran Azarati. Now all the way back for Johan Mulder. Looking for distance. Not quite finding touch though. Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu underneath it. Lifts it up for Damian Willemse to give chase. Might be a bit too far. No, Willemse is going to get there. And it goes backwards. Ball's loose. Dives on it as Ben Jason Dixon. Or does Cam... No, it's in fact offside is the call from Johan Mulder. So it's a penalty for the Stormers. And Sacha goes to the corner. Stormers looking for their try. Yeah, I think they should take the points earlier. This Navi, yeah, I still think to a certain degree, you got to look at potential points on offer here. Bit of a game of attrition sometimes. Ball comes loose, and Hugo Fenter is there to pick up, but coming forward, says the referee. But they'll go back for the advantage for coming from the side from Cardiff. So a bit of pressure here on Cardiff. Stormers have to make this pay. I don't know if they look for a scrum here, or they look to go to the corner again. That's the plan. And Cross-Border coming with a bit of an update from the junior box, saying 50 points to 14 for the junior box. Yeah, I don't think that's too surprising. It's a good junior box side. They're excited for the under 20 championships. It's a great take that from Ben Jason Dixon, really reaching, but yeah, you can just see coming in too quickly and too early, not allowing the player to get down to the ground at Cardiff. Got 2 balls in the field here. Right, now we're ready to continue. Good take that. This time it's Ruben van Heerden in the front of the line out. Hugo Fenter going in there looking for the ball, looking pretty well set here from the Stormers. Slowly starting to get... boots come flying out of the maul. Peeling to the right-hand side. And there's the ball. Is the ball over? I think it is. Stormers do hit back, and I think Hugo Fenter will emerge with that ball. I think it's a bit of afters based on the whistle coming from the referee there. Yeah, Evan Ruiz. Oh, no, not Evan Ruiz. To be fair, it looks like he's just having a conversation, just having a chat. Couple of smiles there between players. But the most important thing for the Stormers is that the try is there. They're going to have a conversation with the captain. I think this is more about the afters than the try itself. Right, Sacha, first kick of the afternoon. And no issues there whatsoever. 7-7. Stormers level up the scores. Right, so 25 minutes gone, or just about. So 50 minutes left in the half. Scores are level. It's been a lot closer than I think some people were initially thinking the first few minutes would be. Not entirely sure what the... we got somebody trying their boot. That's Paul de Villiers. Right, deep to the left-hand side. Willemse underneath it. Tackle is a call from the ref. Emil Khan goes to the boot, lifts it high. And Snutlam is making use of himself, nothing else. That ball comes backwards off of him and then knocked on at the base of the bruck. Emil Khan doesn't agree with the referee. He says he never left his hands. But the referee quite adamant that it did. Yeah, see, I think he's got a point there, in fairness, does Emil Khan. But the decision has been made, and it'll be a scrum on the 10-meter line. Bless me. Sorry, it's penalty for the Stormers. Felt it coming, and basically coincided with where the whistle went, actually, in fairness. So that's a bit of alignment here between yourself and the stream. But another penalty for the Stormers, and it's Kieran Azarati once again who's given it away. And was having a conversation with the referee about it, and he'll be very chuffed for life. Well, in Tuka. Van Heerden calling the line out here. Andrew Hugo Fenter just outside 22. Front of the line once again. This time they're going to work the short side. Andrew Hugo Fenter steps back inside. As Evan Lewis came around the right-hand side corner. Emil Khan now. And next minute space for Jason Dixon. Can he get the offload away? God, he loses the ball forward. But penalty for the Stormers. Emil Khan thinking of taking it quickly. I think they'll just tell him to... What it was almost a brilliant pre-made move. Right, so go to the corner to the Stormers, and they approach the half-hour mark. I would love to just double their points, try and get a bit of a lead. The back of the line there goes. A good take once again. And this round, come the corner goes. You're not stopping him from that kind of range. He's been terrific for the Stormers. Probably one of the signings of the season. And he puts them in the lead. What a player. And Rusty will be loving him. He's a big fan of it. Calls him Tooks. And you don't want to be in terms of places you don't want to be in the world at any stage of your life. One of them is around a line with Instruktuno. I mean, even you and Cross, the referee was eagerly out the way, and you can see the fist pump from there. He made the move. He wasn't getting the game time and the exposure he felt he needed at the Sharks. He made the move to the Stormers. So they're in the right move so far. He's in the quarterfinals. He scored the quarterfinal, and he's put his side in the lead. And Sacha has given them the extra 2 points. And that is a really, really good moment there from the Stormers. Well worked, Lyles. You can see they're coming with a plan, and that it's reassuring because I think at one stage the Stormers were being accused of not having plans, of being poorly coached. But now you go and see those kind of set moves, and they work. You suddenly start to think, actually, maybe there are plans here. Maybe there are plans. Deep kick once again. Damian Willemse underneath it as we've got 10 minutes left in the half. Goes to the booters. Imad Khan. Sanatla will give chase. Oh, he gets there and it comes loose. Referee says, I think backwards off Cam win it. No, not got advantage here for the Stormers. It will be a scrum. They're starting to win the small battles here, the Stormers. Starting to really get into it. So scrum on the halfway line. It's been a really good response. It's been mentioned on commentary here. Since the Stormers have gone behind, they've responded really, really well. So looking scrum, looking for the second shove there. And it's going up. Referee will have a reset. Ross Bowling reckons that halftime it'll be Cardiff 14-10 Stormers. Well, it can't be that currently. It could be the other way around. It could be Stormers 14, Cardiff 10 if they were to get a 3-pointer within the next 9 minutes. Penalty advantage here. Evan Roos controlling at the back there. He's going to have a go. Picks up and goes. He's surrounded by Cardiff players, and the referee will blow his whistle. And the Stormers starting to really find a bit of ascendancy. Not so much on the scoreboard just yet, but they're winning the small battles here, and they're really starting to get into their work. Oh, he's gone to the bin. Yeah, Kieran Azarati. It's 3 in a row. I don't think you could really complain much either, to be perfectly honest. It's been coming. It's been coming. So Kieran Azarati will be in the bin for the next 10 minutes. So Cardiff down to 14. Stormers on the front foot here. 8 minutes to go. Ball comes away in a Khan. Show and go from Dan du Plessis. Makes a yard or two. Good decision that from him. Imar Khan. Quick ball. Now Sacha's on the angle. Sacha goes himself. Ball available. I think there's a knock-on coming from penalty advantage coming here for the Stormers. Moving ahead and ball back inside of Paul de Villiers. 5 meters out here. The Stormers looking positive. Leave it as the call. Imar Khan. Andrew Hugo Fenter goes himself. Evan Roos is behind him. Was quite keen on it. Ball available for Imar Khan. You got Neatley Bashir. You got Ben Jason Dixon. It goes to Bashir. Pops up to Sacha. Pops up to nobody. And have to go and retrieve this as Damian Willemse. Sinatla now with a bit of space. Still playing with a penalty advantage here. Leon Zash show and go. And I think the referee probably will say, let's go back for the penalty. He does indeed. And again, I tell you what, there's a certain amount to me. I suppose you're down to the 14 of the option. You've got the momentum. But there's a certain part of me that would be quite tempted to just pop over the 3 and get ourselves 17 points to 7. So Neatley Bashir's gone to Ruan Nile to have a conversation about what they should do. Do-do-do-do-do. Oh dear, Josh Adams is off. I think he's obviously. I think it's just been a change in the scrum. So yeah, it's an interesting one. His sacrifice. They usually, unless he is off, I get confused. Looks like I think they have sacrificed him. That's a bizarre substitution to make. So obviously they're basically saying that the scrum's too important to lose a flank, which is what you usually do. You'll usually see a flank go off to make way for the prop, but not this case. Yeah, Sebastian is on for Adams. Scottish prop. Big scrum there. Big shove coming. Ball away. Uses his call from the referee. Khan goes to Sacha. Sacha goes short. No, it's a good line being run by Ruan. Now it's going all the way up. Think he's going to do it. He's got crowding. Hold up. That's phenomenal defending. Absolutely phenomenal defending. I don't know how he hasn't managed to get his hands down there. It's a great line being run by him. It was a good flat pass coming from Sacha. Oh, he's placed it on his leg. The leg of Dan Thomas has clutched up there for Cardiff. They could well have been a further 5 points behind, at least. And desperately hanging on here, Cardiff, in the final 5 minutes of the first half. Willemse. Oh, TB, that's a brilliant pass to get him around the play. And Leon Zass has one down. Leon Zass into the corner. Well, it's all in vain in the end. It's a brilliant pass and run from Willemse. And then Leon Zass says, thank you very much. And he goes over. Stormers a try number 3. That is brilliant. Willemse could get the pass around the play and pop a straight into the hands of Leon Zass for his 29th career try. Willemse gets in between 2 players, gets the offload away. Boom! Sits down Cam Winner, does Leon Zass. He's got to do better than Cam Winner. He's an international fullback. Not really good enough if we're gonna be brutally honest. But that's really good work from Leon Zass. And the Stormers now really starting to get into the driving seat of this game. That's their 3rd unanswered try. And Sacha trying to make this 3 from 3. Starts to the right. Is it coming back in? It is coming back in. It's a superb kick from Sacha. 21 points to 7. 5 minutes left of the yellow card. 3.5 minutes left of the half. And Stormers are starting to get into their work. And it's a bit of brilliance. And that's what you need. And that's what I mentioned. Sacha is now 3 from 3 off the tee. Big opportunity for him to sort of show his big game play. Damian Willemse creating something out of nothing. Opportunity for him to show his big game play. I mean, we all know that Damian Willemse is the definition of a big game player. And we're straight back into the action as Damian Willemse. Swirling in the air. Ball comes back. Mulder's after it, but Hugo Fenter gets there first. Now Sacha with a space. Gets away from one. Wants to chip over the top. Not his best chip, but it'll have Sacha. Comes backwards off the Cardiff player. Ball's a bit everywhere. Can win it on the ball. Fresh from being run over by Leon Zass. Now to the right-hand side they go. Pops it short. Cardiff needs trying to find a bit of points before half-time. They can find even the 3 points, to be honest, get to make it an 11-point game. Just take a bit of momentum into half-time. But 2 minutes to go. Not much at the moment happening for them. Ben Thomas. Now Mulder looking for options to the left-hand side. Goes short. Now to the right-hand side. Oh, it's a pretty poor pass. Looking a bit tired here, Cardiff. And Jennings gets involved. Haven't really seen too much of him so far today. Here comes the call from the referee. Great take that from Willemse under a bit of pressure on the 10-meter line. Just over a minute left for the Stormers to... oh, it's a great kick him behind by Imad Khan. That's going to go... that's going to be a 50-22. That is absolutely sensational from the young scrum half. And I was going to say a minute for them just to navigate and get to half-time with a 14-point lead. And instead, it's going to be a 50-22. And they're going to have a line out in the last minute. And a scrum, a try here could put them basically 1 foot into the semi-final. It's a great kick. I mean, it just completely does the player with the bounce. The frustration and the disbelief almost in his face as it ran out. It's a great kick that from Imad Khan. Liam Bulcher, 100th appearance today for in his career, not for Cardiff, but in his career. Yeah, it looks like a decent crowd and it looks like a good vibe. You'll know it'll be big on the town out tonight. And that's a nice Cardiff. And in fact, who is that? Is that a Sax? I thought it was Cardiff supporters initially, but I'm trying to look. I can't actually see the badge. I don't think it is. And once again, it's another line-out move. And Andrew Hugo Fender comes around the corner this time. And they're about 15 meters out here. Khan. That's a nice little pass there to Paul de Villiers. He makes a yard or two. About 10 meters out. But they do win the penalty to Cardiff, so they're going to survive. They'll go into halftime 21 points to 7. That's a really, really important win. I'll tell you what. And that is the same person who held up Ruanel. So Dan Thomas has single-handedly kept the Cardiff in the game for now. So 14 points at the break. Not too big of a lead for the Stormers, but they're very much in control. And it'll still be a man down for about a minute after half-time, will Cardiff. So we're going to go to a bit of a break. Before we do that, please do make sure you smash a like on the video. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. And we'll see you in a bit. Welcome back, and we are about to get underway for the second half over here at the DHL Stadium, and Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu will get us underway. Go down to the left-hand side. Cardiff down. No, I think the yellow card is on from the looks of it, so my account had it a few more seconds, but it looks like they're back. But yeah, I mean, it's a first half where the Stormers will have got in feeling reasonably happy given the scoreline, but at the same time, no, I lie. They took it a while, but the yellow card is back on. Yeah, I think the Stormers have been all right. You know, they would obviously lead, but I think that they would have been frustrated that they didn't take their chances better because they had chances to really start to try and put Cardiff away. And at the moment, 14 points to the lead, it's all right. But they'll want to score nice and quickly and try. And Moss Tennyson, by the way, onto the park nice and early. So in injury assessment, Ruben van Heerden has gone off. Interesting to make that decision. Ben Jason Dixon will probably go to lock there. Evan Roos now in the midfield, getting involved. We've seen very little of Evan Roos so far in this game. Imad Khan took a we've seen plenty of him. He's done a job on Kieran Azarati, got him sin bin as well as scored a try as Ntuka, so he's had a terrific game so far. Probably on the man of the match counts right now. Not too much on, so Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu just dabs the kick ahead. And I think it's almost been charged down, in fact, that reply. No, it hasn't, because Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu takes it quickly. Now a bit of space out wide. Evan Roos. It's a great tackle, actually. Pops it up, though, to Dan du Plessis. Dan du Plessis back on the inside. Imad Khan eventually arriving, but Stormers all the way back on their own 10-meter line. To the right-hand side they go. Andrew Hugo Fenter comes back on the angle. Imad Khan looking for options. Netting Bashir just takes the hit. A ball up, and Leland Zas will give chase. Leland Zas manages to knock it back, but only into the hands of one of the Cardiff players. I believe it is Josh McNally. And then the ball comes loose, but legally so, and the referee penalises the Stormers for it. I think Cardiff need to score first. Yeah, I think that's a big thing. That they can score first, then game on. I think if scorers score next, then it becomes a very long and big mountain to climb, and that is the end of the yellow card officially. So Cardiff back to a full contingent. They got a line just past 10-meter line inside Stormers territory. It's an opportunity for them to kind of get going. They had moments to Cardiff. There's a Stormers player down actually, and back up to his feet. I think it's Dan du Plessis. It's Dan du Plessis, and they're going to break straight through of Cardiff. Eventually brought down as Tame Basham. It's a really good run from him. To the left-hand side goes Johan Mulder. Lloyd puts it through. Damian Willemse needs to get there. Is Damian Willemse going to get there? He does get there. It might be considered carried over. It is carried over. But that's brilliant work from Damian Willemse to get there first and to ground that. He's not particularly happy with it because he had a man overlap. So I think he's wondering where Leland Zas is. He's done so well to get there behind. Yeah, he's not happy at somebody, Damian Willemse. What a player Damian Willemse is. I think he might retire as an all-timer, to be honest. I mean, he's already got 2 World Cups to his name. Was probably one of our most important players 2023. I keep saying it. I mean, he's only 28 years old. He could have 3 World Cups to his name by the time he's 30. How's that for a potential stat? If he were to win the World Cup next year, he'd have 3 World Cups to his name, and he wouldn't even be 30 years old. He's already the youngest player ever to win it twice. He was one of the youngest players to win it for the first time. And he's already played over 50 caps for the Boks at 28 years old. Oh no, Tame Basham's over. That is awful defending. Goodness me, that is far too easy for Cardiff. And the Stormers a little bit shell-shocked, to be honest. That is diabolical defending. There's only a way to put it. I mean, he just picks it. He completely does Paul de Villiers the step inside. And that's it, to be honest. Emma Khan's on the wrong side. Steps back inside. Sacha's busy running up. So it's a calamity of errors. Paul de Villiers can't be done that easily. Cannot move to the left. And as soon as he stepped inside, he's completely dead. But we're now going to need to stretch. There's a Cardiff player is going to be going off now. So Owen Lloyd, he's 1 from 1 so far. Looking to make it 1 from 2. And no stress whatsoever. So, right, so within 7, I said Cardiff had to score next to make it a game. And they've done exactly that. But Paul de Villiers won't enjoy watching that back in the analysis session. And that's Kieran Azarati, who they said needs a stretcher, but now he looks like he's going to be able to be... Sebastian's back on, so Azarati's just come back from that yellow card. Will officially leave. I think he's going to be able to walk off. So Sebastian is back on. And we'll play the remainder of the 35 minutes that on the clock. That's bumping play the other way as you trace that kick. Cam Winner underneath it. Ben Jason Dixon completes the tackle. Right, so 34 minutes left on the clock. Stormers with a 7-point lead, but Cardiff will take a lot of confidence out of that try. Not the best kick there from Jan Mulder, and you can see he's frustrated. So it's sliced off his boot. It'll be an opportunity now for the Stormers to build a bit of momentum. They're just outside the 22 in the attacking lineout. Advantage there. Not sure where that ball is, to be honest. It's a penalty advantage there for the Stormers. Having a conversation with the captain here as Ewan Cross. And going to the corner. So a bit of a shove there from Evan Roos. Just needs to be a bit careful with Evan Roos. Nothing too hectic there, but he's got to tempers, Evan Roos. Right, straight to the front. And Marcel Tennyson, of all people, taking that. One side is the call. Yeah, I think they've come through the middle here of Cardiff. I think this is going to be turnover ball. It is going to be turnover ball. It's very well defended by Cardiff. And the Stormers haven't quite arrived for the second half. It is only about 7 or 8 minutes into the second half, but they've not come out of the change room so far. It's been one-way traffic, and Cardiff have definitely been the better side. They're just very disjointed, that whole potential maul. They're not quite aligned there with Stormers, and allowed Cardiff to come through the middle quite easily and stop them in their tracks. But the big thing for the Stormers at the moment is they've only put on one change so far, and it's an HIA as Ruben van Heerden had to go off. But they've got a 6-2 split that they're going to release a little bit later with some exciting players like Zachary Porthen, Sam Murat to come on. Marcel Tennyson's a good player. They've gone down on the left side. Well, free kick for Cardiff. I think that's a bit lucky. Looked like the player had gone down. Yeah, you can just see Neertje Mashir not overly impressed. See, I mean, he's gone down. I'm a bit confused about that call, to be perfectly honest. And that's what Neertje Mashir had to say. They're not really taking the hit here, our Cardiff, because as soon as they do, they're under pressure. The question is, when does John Dobson unload that bench of his? So Hughes is on for Bulcher. Replacement at 2. It looks like a second change actually coming from Cardiff. It's a good line up there. Marcel Tennyson's come on. And Emma Khan's got a bit of space. Emma Khan gets away from 1, just short of the 22. Pick up and go coming from RJ Smith. Now Evan Ruiz runs up the middle. Now the left-hand side, yeah, Marcel Tennyson. Mr. Reliable for the Stormers all the time. And it's a half gap almost from Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu. And now it's been intercepted by Jan Mulder. And they get the off right away. It could be another intercept. Not quite the same sort of breakaway at this stage. They have scrambled well and eventually managed to bring down Ben Thomas. Now to the left-hand side. Not the best kick, and is into the hands of CBS Nut. And Sacha's not going to make the runaway. Oh, they're going to make him pay. They are going to make him pay. Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu's going to go over. Silly from Cardiff. No need for the cross kick. So Nutler intercepts, pops it back inside, and Sacha goes over. Architects for their own demise there were Cardiff. There was no need for that. It was a high-risk option. Oh, but he's down and holding his knee. He's not happy as Sacha. So that's not a good sign from a Stormers or a Springbok point of view, especially the Springboks with their injuries really starting to mount up. I think it's the half tackle over here. So Nutler does really well. A good handoff there coming from Sacha. But he's in instant pain as he goes down. That's worrying. Very, very worrying. Yeah, he's still down. I think Damian Willemse will have to take this. Emma Khan. Oh, that's useful to have options. But it's not a good sign to see Sacha down and receiving treatment. And it's well wide from Imad Khan. So 26 points to 14. And that he's up and walking as Sacha. They're radioing in. Not sure if that's going to be the end of his game or not. I mean, to be honest, I don't see why you'd risk him. You've got Yuri Mateo on the bench. He's a very accomplished player. He's had a very good season. And if you want to win your semi-final next week against Leinster, yeah, there comes Yuri Mateo. They're not going to risk it. He's walking. A little bit gingerly as Sacha, but he's walking. So hopefully not too serious. But Yuri Matea's had a brilliant season. So more than capable of steering them over the line as far as I'm concerned. But 26 points to 14. They've got a 12-point lead. Damian Willemse is going to have to step up and take a lot of the responsibility. from an X Factor point of view. Yuri Matia, far more of a conductor type of fly half than a Sacha is. Right, Cardiff short. Good tackle there coming from Damian Willemse. Yeah, they do well. Their Damian Willemse eventually does leave it, so that they don't concede the penalty. Good awareness. Now to the left-hand side. Thomas. Lloyd to win it. Caught in the ball by Ahmed Khan. We'll probably see a delay now in bringing on Stefan Unger due to that injury. But 13 minutes in, and the game's definitely not sealed and done for the Stormers. Just the 12 points. A try for Cardiff, converted try, puts them right back into the game. And at the moment, the Stormers has been a bit sloppy, you notice. But that's been Jason Dixon on, who not coming from the Stormers. That's the only positive so far from them this half. Apart from the tries that Ben Jason Dixon is back on. So Marcel Tennyson will be off the park, which means they'll still be able to deploy their 6-2 bench, which includes Jaded Kotzer, Vernon Matongo, Zachary Porth, and Salmarat, Ruan Ackerman, and Marcel Tennyson. I think we'll probably start to see him around that 60-minute mark, would be my guess. John Dobson with his Microsoft little headset. That guy, surely we can get him a bit of headset than that. He literally looks like he's in a call center. Short. Good tackle there coming from Ruan now. Comes back inside and solid tackle from Leon Zas. But over the ball there is Paul de Villiers, and that's the second turnover of the game. Won't win the penalty this time. Ball's eventually available. Leon Zas pops it up. Evan Lewis goes straight into the hands of Cardiff. It's silly from him. I mean, they're wearing pink. Oh, it's charged down though by Ahmed Khan. And now the race on. I don't know he's going to dive on it. But he's on top of him quite literally as Ahmed Khan. All the way back on their 5 meter. Good tackle that. Putting pressure on Cardiff here are Stormers. And they don't find touch. Right, opportunity here. Willemse steps away from one. Still going as Willemse. Brought down to shy of the 22. Ahmed Khan. Half a gap and took a Tunu. But it's closed quite quickly. And almost got the pass away, but then decided to hold on to it. Thomas was lurking. Now Khan just slows things down. For sure. Goes short to Paul de Villiers. Back in the pocket here. Yuri Matia's going to have a go. He's watching it, but it's looking pretty good. Off the cross, off the post here. Right option then, to be fair. And they're going to go back all the way, and he's dropped his Damian Willemse. I'll tell you what, that's a phenomenal kick, but it's not a bad effort there from Yuri Matia. It's a good warning sign. I think it's not a bad shot, to be fair. Wasn't the best pass, just stabilized him. Struck it well. Just off the post. But I don't mind the option. I don't actually mind the option. They need something a bit, just to get themselves back on the scoreboard. Right, looks like a couple of changes here. Are the Stormers now unleashing the bench? Salman Murat's on. Instructor's off. I don't think that's the swap. I assume Vernon Matongo's on. And looks like Zachary Portham will be on as well. JJ Kotzer on as well. I think JJ Kotzer is one of the most underrated players in the country. Here's my 2 cents for the day. And Ruan Ackerman as well, I think that is. No. Well, that's not the best kick from here. It's gone straight up. That's going to work really hard for Daniel Willemse. It's a great... surely no one's going to catch him. Sanatla going for the corner. Sanatla! Oh, there it is. What a finish that is. He might have done a shoulder in the process, but goodness me, that's a try. Yeah, he stayed down as Sanatla. He landed really, really hard. Put himself in the air to try and make the final leap for the try. We're going to have a look at this. We're going to have a look. So first we're checking to see if there's a knock on. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of an interesting one to decide who touched this first. I think it's off Dan du Plessis. I think it might be forward, you know. Yeah, I think that's off Dan du Plessis' hands first and forward. So I think this is going to be ruled out in the end. I think they'll go back for the knock on. They've already made a decision. The good news is that Cyril Sanatla is back on his feet. So go back for knock on just past the halfway line. That would have been a big moment in the game. In many ways, that could have been the game. Now we reset here. First scrum we're going to see with Vernon Matonga and Zachary Portham in the front row with JJ Kotzer. Well, here comes Stefan Ungar onto the park. I don't know if that's an injury or they just decide to offload the entire bench, but that's, I think, anyone besides Ruan Ackerman. Off the back goes Tane Basham, slips just ahead of the tacklers. Bit of a fumble, but picked up by Lloyd and dabbed him behind. Damian Willemse has a look around and see doesn't see anybody coming. And Khan has stood on the line as well. So it's going to be a Cardiff line out inside the 22. And conceded the penalty for throwing the ball away. It's silly for him, Khan. Well, now it's really, really a good opportunity for Cardiff, because now they got. I'll tell you what, I'll be almost wondering about taking the 3 points here with Cardiff. Get yourself 17 points to 6. Yeah, I suppose you need to try anyway. Might as well try to get it now. What are they thinking? How are they thinking? Yeah, they are going to go to the corner here. All right, going for the early more here of Cardiff. The converted try puts them 5 points behind the Stormers. 20 minutes left on the clock. It's a breakaway, but there's nobody in front of them. I'll tell you what, they're going to be just short. Stormers have scrambled well. Thomas. Just short again. Pick up and go! And I think he's on it. He is. That's going to be awarded. And it is awarded. No, they're going to have a check. No, that's awarded. He's just not well positioned. That's a try, unfortunately, for Stormers fans. The referee's just on the wrong side to be able to see it. They're saying the on-field decision is a try. They're just checking this over here. I think it's a try. I just think you can see it. He's unsighted. Comes across. Does he lose it? That's the big question. Stefan Ungara. Ball's not quite there. Nor's not quite there. And then it's there. I think that's fine. It's on the line. I think he's in control there. So I'm going to see if there's potential to have a backing here. Yeah, I think they're saying it's the same more. I think they're happy with that. So no obstruction. This try is going to count. Yeah, saying it's the same all the way through. They're happy with it. It's going to count. Yeah, it is the Cardiff fans in the corner there. I'll tell you what, this has been a good watch though so far. They're not going away. James Botham is going to be credited with the try. Good try from him. And Ian Lloyd needs to make sure of this, make it a 5-point game with 20 minutes left on the clock. Well, is it correct because the Stormers are going to win? I don't think it's a foregone conclusion, but they need a score. They got to find something here. Because it's a 5-point game, and Cardiff have definitely been the better side this half. I think that's where it gets a bit worrying, is how the Stormers have only scored 1 try this half, and it was against the run of play. So they've got to try and find they got to find tries. They got to find some points. I think Yuri Mattia 3-pointer, for example. How important could that be? Because that would have put them at 8 points ahead currently. Benjay Dixon goes up, takes it well. Good work from him. Ball available for Stefan Ungara. Wrap around. Looking for options as Yuri Mattia. Decides straight and go himself. Got options back on the inside. Still going as Yuri Mattia. It's a good run in the end, up towards the 22. Ungara, slow ball here. Goes to Murat, who loses it backwards. No, loses it forwards. Oh, Salman. But they're going to go back for the penalty. Thankfully for him. Right, so on the 5 meter line here, couple of changes. Big opportunity, and they don't get down. That'll be a penalty advantage. Free roll the dice here. And they're not going to need it, are they? Is he over? I don't think he's going to get grounding here, Stefan Ungerer. They're going to say, hold up, says the referee. They just can't quite find it, can they? I mean, it was the perfect line being run by Stefan Ungerer. Just Cardiff players appeared out of nowhere, to be honest. Jovan Sebastian's off now. He's gone to the sin bin. That means that both tight heads have been binned, and I think Azarati is injured, so I don't think he's going to be able to come up. So we could very well have uncontested scrums here, unless one of the loose heads is designated to be able to play at tight head, which, having looked at them, I don't know if Reese Barrett can play at tight head. I don't know the sheet, which says if he's a designated 3. Well, looking pretty good so far, yeah, and they're over, but have they got grounding? They do. They do. The Stormers get the try they've been searching for all half, and that could be a big moment in the game. They stretch it to 10 points, and they really needed that under all the pressure. And that's a huge try score at this stage of the match. Big celebration. You can see there from Zachary Porth and Vernon Matonga as well. Evan Rush shoving one of the players' heads there. He's just so petulant at times, isn't he? Right, Jerry Mattia. Can he make this 12 points? 12 points significant. No, he can't. That's an awful kick. It's gone to the right-hand side. They have left 4 points out there so far. Let's hope it doesn't come back to haunt there. But now all of a sudden, Cardiff are going to have to score twice. There's a really good maul in the end there. Getting into the trenches there. Not really the most aesthetically pleasing try, but just a try of grunt and a bit of grit. And now they need to make this man advantage count. 15 minutes left. You got to just try and get yourself into Cardiff territory and then just start picking off the points here. Try and get those threes. Willemse underneath it. He's been so reliable today as Damian Willemse. Uses the call. Needs to be careful he doesn't get pinged like Bose Peel was. Stefan Ungerer goes to the boot. Lifts it high in the air. He comes back and loses a 4, I think, of Cardiff. Yeah, there's not got advantage here for Stormers. Ungerer goes to the pocket. It's an awful pass to Damian Willemse, who has to do a lot of cleaning up. But they do come back for the scrum. Conversations there with Yuri Mattia and a couple of other players. Asking Marcel Tennyson about a few things. So now the question comes whether either Reese Barrett or Danny Southworth is a designated tight head. I'm not sure if either of them are. Let's have a look at Danny Southworth and see if he's ever played in the number. Oh, I'm not seeing it all, am I? No. There does not seem to be any games And a tight edge here for Southworth. Looks very much an out-and-out loose head. Yeah, no, definitely nothing there. And Reese Barrett. I mean, we're going to see in a bit, but I'm going to see if I can beat us to the... Yeah, I'm also not seeing any tight head games here. So I think it'll be uncontested scrums. I think that's exactly what they're checking. Although it's not too difficult. I mean, it's you've got the... you have a piece of paper ahead of you. So Tame Bastion's been sacrificed, but now they're saying Jacob Beetham's off. Yeah, I think it's an uncontested scrum. I think they have to match the numbers here. They should not take this. I mean, I mean, these are pressure rugby players. How does this take so long to get going? To the right hand side, they go. There's always going to be a bit of an overlap because of that man advantage. Now Porthen, solid carry from him. Still going Zachary Porthen. Unger goes to Murat. This time he does hold on to it. Not much on, so Matia just goes to the boot. That's a great... is that Solomon Murat diving onto the ball? There we go. Just proving to everybody that the ball handling skills are there. Dix is going up towards 22. And turn the ball, but illegally so. So they'll go back for the penalty. Shot at goal. That's what I think all Stormers fans will be wanting to hear. A shot at goal. No reason whatsoever to be silly about this. Just see out the game. That's all you got to be doing right now. Seeing out the game. And no mistakes there from Matia. And that will be 34-21. And this is the thing. That's what I mentioned. The Stormers need to go into game manager mode here. They've just got to just keep the points ticking over. Get your threes. Get yourself into positions. Just try and play in Cardiff territory. That's the only thing you need to do right now, is play in the right areas. Great take that from Dandy Bassi. They did add a bit of variation to the kickoff, and it goes back to Matia. He's going to pump it downfield, down the middle of the park. Back to Iron Lloyd. He's got Winnett to his left. Winnett will give chase. Decent under the high ball as Cam Winnett. But Matia will take it. Pops up to Damian Willemse. Willemse sees a bit of space. It's going to be an awkward bounce. Eventually fielded. And looking for the step here, but he's not going to get away from, I think it's Unger and Zachary Porthen, is Tom Bowen. A big counter ruck coming here from the Stormers, but illegally so, says the referee, so they do concede the penalty. Right, so it's a bit of do or die now for Cardiff. There's 10 minutes left. It's a great tackle coming in, and Zachary Porthan just needs to release. That's the biggest problem. He makes a good tackle, but then he doesn't release. He needs to get back to his feet, release, and then have a go. And as Evan Roos's game come to an end, Ruan Ackerman will come on. Not as best from Evan Roos. Didn't quite get the opportunity he'd like. Right, front of the football here for Cardiff. Front of the line out. Looking for the rolling more here. Vernon Matonga not happy with being slapped by Bettis Bevan. Now, eventually Bevan does use it on the front foot. Goes Thomas. Presents well. Now, to the left-hand side goes Bevan. Cardiff trying to up the ante here. Marcel Tennyson now. Backwards to the Corbies. All over that ball is JJ Kotze, but can't quite secure it. Paul de Villiers lurking. He's exactly the kind of position he wants to be in. Now, Bevan going to go to the boot here. Shaping up for the box kick. And not a great carry together there from Mattia, but it falls back towards Damian Willemse. Good hands there. Mattia now goes to Tennyson. He's got Zach Porthan with him. Game's becoming a little bit open at the moment. I'm not sure John Dobbs will be enjoying that. Paul de Villiers now into contact. Slow ball now for Stefan Ungara. Shaping to go to the box kick as well. Khan will give chase. Khan takes it brilliantly. You can't keep him out of the game there, Imad Khan, despite being moved away from 9. Onto the wing. Now, Master Tennyson with a bit of space. Master Tennyson needs a bit of support. He's got Ungara. Ungara surely has he got the pace. He does. He goes over, and that should do it for the Stormers. Oh, will it? I don't know if I heard a double blow there. Oh, we're going to have a conversation with the referee. He's checking something here. Just to inform Ruan now. On-field decision is a try. I think we're just looking at potential obstruction here. So Imad Khan. And I think it's here. So Marcel Tennyson. Is it Ruan now in the way here? It could be, you know. I mean, I think it's... But I get frustrated that it's too easy for a player to just go, oh, I can't get there, and actually not try and make a tackle. I think you need to try and actually make the tackle here. I mean, he could very easily take us 2 steps to the right-hand side. It's too easy for me to do that. I mean, he's moving into a different direction where Martinez is running towards. I mean, it is. I think it is obstruction, but I really don't like the fact that it's too easy to run into a player and just complain. There's no attempt to make a tackle. I mean, whilst he's complaining whilst he's still running into him over here, whilst the player's gone past him. So it probably is obstruction, but it's frustrating that there doesn't need to be a bigger effort to make the tackle. I don't think it's going to make that big. Well, I suppose maybe it makes all the difference in the world. Maybe they take 3 points here, go and score 2 tries, and off we go. 13 points difference. Lloyd hammers that into touch, just outside of 22. But running out of time here at Cardiff with 7.5 minutes on the clock. Right to the right-hand side. Cardiff, it's a bit of now or never, really. Lloyd goes short to win it. Good tackle coming from Ruan now. And lost forward, yeah. So Paul de Villiers comes away with a long pass. It's a great pass, actually, to Imad Khan. Now he goes to the boot. I don't think he'll have the distance to quite search for that 50-22, but he's weighted that perfectly. Just steps inside. That's a brilliant kick from Imad Khan. And he's there as well to chase zone kick and prevent the quick line out. So it's a really good work there from the scrum off, now playing out on the wing. And they'll have to start from deep once again, yeah, will Cardiff. So 6 minutes left on the clock. And they've lost it. Stormers come away with it. Willemse gets away from one. Eventually brought down. Matthias very well. All hands, but he's left it behind us. Vernon Matongo. He's gone back and grabbed it. Backwards is the call from the referee. And slow ball, yeah, from Stefan Unger. No rush whatsoever. And why would you rush? And then they lose it forward. Long pass out wide, yeah. Work to do. Comes back inside is Jacob Beetham. To the left-hand side. Lloyd puts it in behind himself and he'll regather. No, in fact, he's done brilliantly there. Oh, but Damian Willemse, as per usual, and he gets the offload away. Hacked ahead by Dan Dudbisi. Damian Willemse, I tell you what, he's just a different level. Went to ground early on the slide, gathered it. I mean, Lloyd had done so well. The kick had taken away a couple of players. Then he put a kick in around behind. The only person back was Damian Willemse, and he very quickly slid on the ground, picked it up, managed to get to his feet, managed to throw the pass out wide to the man, exactly. And that's going to go too far, is it not? It is going to go too far. And Leon Zas will just sit there and wait for somebody to come there, and he'll dab it down. And the Stormers can come all the way back for a goal line dropout. Gives us an opportunity to look at this piece of play from Damian Willemse, which is so intelligent. Bit of break and play here. Good solid tackle there from the restart. There, right, Cardiff got 4 minutes. They've got to make something happen now. They got short. Oh, interception from Ruan now. That's a brilliant piece of play from him. Leon Zas now there to support. That is, I mean, that could be a match-winning intercept there from Ruan now. Zach Porthin. That's a pretty poor pass, Damian Willemse. So once again, we'll have to go and use the cleanup man now today. But Matthias sees a bit of space. Wants to go on a bit of a run himself. Still going, Jerry Matthias. Still going. He almost can't believe it. Gets to throw away to Damian Willemse. Steps inside. Gets back into his feet. Still going as Damian Willemse. He's like he's just playing a different game at the moment. To the right-hand side. Matthias. Dan Duplessis. Imran Khan now coming inside. Out on the wing. Spinning in the tackle. Needs a bit of support. Comes in the form of Yuri Matthias. Angara goes to Matongo, and now straight through the middle goes JJ Kotza, and that will do it for the Stormers. Yuri Matia take a bow. He started it all, and eventually it's a great pass from Angara just to split the defenders as he takes a great line as JJ Kotza. 39 points to 21. In the end, this will look pretty straightforward. I don't think it was as straightforward as the scoreline suggests, but the Stormers are going to get through relatively comfortably here. Yeah, 41 points to 21. It's an innovative restart, but Stormers went really well. And Ruan Ackerman's got a bit of space. Gets off that away to Paul de Villiers. Now Stormers, could they potentially... Oh, Paul de Villiers is dirty. Little throw behind the head there. And the hands now for the Stormers. Playing a bit of champagne rugby with a minute to go. It's almost like they've been unlocked by the 20-point lead. Angara now. Matia takes into contact. He's been good since coming on as Yuri Matia. Final share for the Stormers. I'm sure they'll take the 3 points and knocked forward. We'll go back for the penalty. This could well be 3 points, and thanks for coming. Yep, Ronald's already pointed at the poll, said, let's not stuff around. Let's get these 3 points. Let's get this done. Let's get ourselves over to home. I would say over to Dublin, but the Lions going to beat Leinster later. So... And no issues there from Yuri Matia. The Stormers will go through. At the end, it was a bit of a canter in the last few minutes, but 44 points to 21. In the end, it's quite comprehensive. They were made to work for it, but just too strong for Cardiff, who were valiant in their efforts at times. And yeah, I think he'll be quite proud of a lot of what they did. They just didn't quite have the depth, I think, to go all the way. So final score, 44 points for my people. Thank you very much for joining me. We will see you guys next weekend for some more watch-alongs. Obviously, we'll be doing videos throughout the weekend. And a big worry about the Stormers will be what happens with Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu. But we'll have more details about that during the week. Please just smash like on the way out. Please